What's up, riders? Old Man Ronin here. Welcome back to the channel. Today, the top 5 things I love about the Iron 883. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we're out on the Iron 883 today. It's a 2012, and I want to talk about the top 5 things I love about this bike. And I'll tell you, there's probably more than 5, but the top 5 things is what we're going to start with. Number 5, the value. You know, I'm kind of a Harley-phile as it is. I do have quite a few Harley Davidson motorcycles in my stable, and I consider this one of them, even though it is in my wife's name. I really do love this bike. Made a few modifications to it, but the reason I like the Iron, like say over a 1200 or the super low that our daughter has, or the 883 custom that used to be built, they're not anymore, or the 1200 Iron, is the fact that the 883 Iron holds its value. This bike, I mean, I've got this bike pretty cheap, but most of the Iron 883s that you see on the market today are relatively expensive. Number 4 reason I love this bike is its performance. Yeah, people are going to give me a little crap on that, but I'll tell you what, it does perform very, very well. Now, we have made some upgrades to this bike, and the upgrades include putting some short shots on it, putting some Fuelpak 3 tuner on it, doing a Screamin Eagle high flow air cleaner on it, that type of thing. So it's basically a stage 1 complete. But as far as that goes, that's all I've done to it as far. And I don't think I'm going to do anything more to it as far as engine-wise, because the bike really, really does perform well. And so, and again, it is my wife's bike, and she's not as impressed with speed as I am, but she does love the low-end torque. And so the performance of this bike is actually perfect for her. We're going to go through this bridge that I always take pictures of, and I'm just going to go through it this time at home. But as far as the performer, it does get up and go good. It's got a lot of great low-end torque, and to couple it with its nimbleness, which is number 3, the nimbleness of this bike, it's a perfect situation. Yeah, we jumped right into number 3 right out of number 4, and I'll tell you what, the nimbleness of this bike is outstanding. It really does perform well when you're talking about a bike that will get into the corners real nice and easy. It's a very comfortable riding bike as well too. So the fact that you can get it down in the corners and lean pretty well. I mean, it doesn't have a lean angle of a sport bike or anything like that. I mean, you have to know what the bike is, but for what it is, I really love the way this thing gets in the corners. I mean, it is one of the reasons why I wanted one. It's because the nimbleness of this bike. It's more nimble than my 1200 Sportster, which is pretty nimble to begin with. But yeah, this bike has a lot of great handling characteristics that I really, really enjoy. Well, let's talk about the next thing I like about it. The number 2 thing I love about the Sportster Iron 883 is its ability to make it your own. When I mentioned about the performance upgrades that I made, this is kind of the direction I was heading to. You can literally make this bike anything that you want it to be. Now, I am in the process of getting a sissy bar for the back of this to do some moto camping on it. Not only the Himalayan, but the 1200 Sportster and this bike, and we'll be doing some moto camping on this bike just as well. You can turn any of the Sportsters into like a cafe racer, a chopper, basically, you know, scrambler, anything that you really want it to be. You can make this bike your own. That's one of the things that I love about not only any Sportster, but this particular bike right here, because it has the customability of anything you want to do, and the aftermarket support for the Sportster line is outstanding. I've mentioned before, in fact, the shirt I have on when you see it in the introduction is Lowbrow Customs up in Cleveland. But TC Bros, Revzilla, I mean, there's literally numerous places that you can buy parts and accessories for the Sportster model line, in particular the Iron 883, that you can't do for like any Honda. I mean, I'm sorry, or any Kawasaki, or any other type of Japanese or English bike. It just don't have that kind of aftermarket support that you do for not only Harley Davidson, but in particular for the Sportster line. And that is critically important. That is really a big deal when it comes for me buying a motorcycle. And there's a lot of great YouTube channels out there that show you different customizations of the Sportster lineup. But I'll tell you, a lot of them start with the 1200 or in particular the Iron 883 model line. Which brings us to the number one thing I love about the Iron 883, and it's the looks. This bike to me is without a doubt one of the prettiest Harley Davidsons that's in the market, and I think that's one of the reasons why the Sportster line is hanging on so long, is because it is gorgeous. This bike has that old school look to it. I mean, if you would show me this bike back in the 40s and 50s, I'd say, yeah, it belongs there. But it also belongs today. It's got that, the right, and I'll show you in some of the B-roll how the angle of the motorcycle, the lines are from the speedometer all the way down to the rear wheel, how it just fits and flows. I mean, it's a gorgeous looking bike. And I'll tell you, I have a lot of people come to the house occasionally, and they all, you know, say, hey, I want to see your motorcycles, and they all love this bike above anything that I have. And it kind of makes me jealous a little bit. You know, my wife owns the most popular bike in our stable. But it's true, it is gorgeous, and it's one of the reasons why I love this bike so well, is because it is a beautiful motorcycle. And you can see how she cuts to these little curves that we're doing right now. I mean, this thing is amazing. I love this bike, but in particular the way it looks. Now, of course, like in the B-roll, you're going to see the short shots that we put on it. But you know, this is a blacked out bike for sure. It's the there's other colors you can get for the Iron 883, but my favorite obviously is black. And this denim color is just absolutely stunningly beautiful. And I think that that's one of the things that I really love about it, is the fact that it's all blacked out. We maintained that black as we were adding the, you know, the short shots and stuff like that on it. But we wanted to, like I say, maintain that color and the look of the flat black and that almost dirty evil look, which I love so well. You know, it gives the look of an you know, of imposing. You know, it's like, don't mess with me. I'm a evil looking bike. I shouldn't say evil, it just looks mean. And I think that's maybe a better situation, or a better word terminology, is it just looks mean. And that's something that I really, really enjoy. And you know what you can do on this bike too, is you see me there get a little bit of trail braking. This bike handles well for that. The front end loads up really nice going into the corners. So if you guys aren't trail braking, you should be. Learn how to do it. I've been doing it for 40 years, but it does, you want some traction on that tire. And so when you're going into the corner, start to trail brake and slowly release. We'll do a full video on that down the road. I'm by no means a race bike rider, but I have been riding a long time, and I really do like to use all the techniques in my hand. But you know, for stuff like this backcountry roads, this Iron is just amazing. I mean, it really truly is. Now, we don't have a lot of miles on this bike. I bought this bike about 3 or 4 years ago, and my wife works a lot, so the only time it gets ridden really a lot is her short little trips, and of course me. And that's why we're putting the sissy bar on, so I can take it on some moto camping trips here in this fall. Like I said, in between the Himalayan and this one. And also, we'll probably do it on the Scenic Ride series as well too. I mean, this road here is just absolutely gorgeous. I don't think it's on the Scenic Ride, but it should damn well be. beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous? And we're going to stop here for a quickie. I'll be right back. Well, that was fun. Yeah, that's kind of the kind of stuff you can see when you're riding out in the country. Which is one of the things, again, I love about this bike. It's a blast to ride. I mean, it's just literally a fun bike to get on and do whatever you want to do on it. I had a guy ask me online the other day if you can ride a Sportster across country. You know, I had my first couple motorcycles in my youth were smaller engines like this, XCLH, there's 1,000 cc's, but yeah, I had no problem whatsoever riding them across country. I've been to California 9 times and twice on a Sportster, and I'll tell you, you can do it. The Great Egret, which I'll put a link in the bottom there, did a cross-country trip. He basically went from Chicago on Route 66 all the way out to Santa Monica, California on an Iron 883. He did change the seat and stuff of that nature, but you know, after he did that, he was a lot more comfortable. I mean, he put a big sissy bar on the back, which this one doesn't have yet, but it will. I've got one I'm going to be ordering from Lowbrow Customs here really soon, and made by Gasbox Industries out of Cleveland, and so we're going to be putting that on the bike. But yeah, it's just a phenomenal sissy bar, and like I said, we're going to add it to it, and that way we'll be able to do some longer trips and stuff like that. I mean, I don't mind doing the shorter trips on the on this bike as well too, but you can do long distance. Just you'll probably want another seat more than anything else. But when you get your other seat, I mean, again, I'd do some stuff with the suspension too, Precision or Legend or something of that nature. Get yourself a you know, a little bit better suspension on your bike. But once you do that, yeah, you're good to go. And again, this thing will just get it. Again, it's not my 1200, but it does ride very nicely. So much so that it is, without a doubt, one of the favorite motorcycles in the stable. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's a lot of fun making it. I love doing these top 5s. If you did, give us a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell notifications. Share. Comment. You know what? I read all the comments and comment on all the comments. Until next time, ride safe and keep her on 2 wheels, baby.